Alright YouTube, what's going on? My name is the Nanu, the man with the biggest and the most blackest privilege on YouTube. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the new Star Wars. What's it? Star Wars... what's it called? The Force Awakens, I think? Because I think A New Hope was the last one, and you had Rogue One, and... Yeah, I think this is Force Awakens. Anyway, new Star Wars that came out last month. I went and saw it like the weekend it came out, so I meant to upload this video, but I didn't get around to making it, until just now. So, it's first thoughts about it. It's I liked it. I liked it a lot, actually. A lot of people before I seen it, I seen people talking about it, reviews, and people are bashing this movie like it's the worst Star Wars movie ever. Some people saying they liked it, a lot of people saying they hated it, so it was heavily divisive as far as movies go. But I'm somebody who I don't care what other people think. I'm gonna judge it and see it for myself. So I mean, I wouldn't see it. I mean, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I mean, I've seen all of the movies, old and new, and I've read a couple of the books and played most of the games. So I'm heavily invested in a lot of the lore and stuff like that, even though most of that was been thrown out the window when Disney bought them. So I mean, it is what it is. But as far as the movie goes, I would say, given all the older characters and the newer characters, I liked it. I liked it a lot, actually. The only thing that I did not like out of the movie, just to get this out the gate first, is the same thing I didn't like about A New Hope. I'm not feeling what Kylo Ren, whatever his name is, evil Jedi guy. I'm not feeling him as a bad guy. Like, he looks like a wimpy bad guy who can't fight. Maybe it's just me. I mean, I grew up with Darth Vader, so he had big shoes to fill. And so far, you know how like you put a shoe on, but you gotta squeeze your heel into the shoe. Like that's as much as he filled Vader's boots. It's like he's trying to do it, but he ain't there yet. And I'm just not feeling him as a bad guy at all. Everything else about the movie I thought was okay. I like Rey training with Luke being the evil, well not evil, the old grizzled, I'm not gonna train nobody, Jedi master. I was kind of expecting that. I liked Finn, going against Captain Chick, who took over when Leia was in her coma. I liked the whole movie. I liked everything else. Even a lot of stuff they had at the end of the movie where Luke was pretending like he was about to fight Kylo and then he didn't. I thought that was pretty cool. Him using all newer badass force abilities that, they haven't really shown in a lot of the older movies. I like that too. What I didn't like about it was, like I said, was Kylo Ren again. He's a weak bad guy for your movie. I want somebody who's gonna wreck shop, who's imposing, kind of like if you played KOTOR 1, the bad guy in that. I mean, if you're a dark Sith, I want you to have evil badass Sith powers and do some dark ass shit. I don't want you to sit here and have a little imaginary dream date with your girlfriend, talking about how you can have her play with your lightsaber. That's not what I want out of my Star Wars villains. Show me, come up and be like, yo, I'm the badass that's gonna wreck shop on the galaxy, and it's your job to stop me. Let's have this lightsaber fight. Get your ass up. But outside of that, the only other thing that I didn't like about the movie was not necessarily the characters, was it Finn and the Asian chick. Asian chick felt like she was forced into the plot. So I liked her playing the character, only because she goes against modern stereotypes, where you would think in a movie they would put a beautiful, pretty lady on the screen. And I'm not saying she's not pretty. I mean, I think she's pretty, but normally in most situations like that, they try to over-sexualize the female lead in a movie and things like that. But and she, she was like a chubby average Asian chick. So I like that they kind of went with that and just said, fuck it, we're just gonna go against the norm and do what we do. You know what I'm saying? Throw an average person on there. That was pretty cool. I just didn't like their scene in the movie, YouTube. Their scene was they had to go to this casino in order to meet this contact to get them into, they had to go find a splicer to get them into a computerized system on, I think it was Snoke's ship, not Kylo Ren's ship, but the main Sith ship, that was chasing them throughout the movie. And it was their job to meet the slicer and then get him to go there so they could break in and stop this ship from killing off the rebels, right? And that whole sequence, I didn't like. It felt incredibly forced. It didn't come out of nowhere because they led up to it, but it was just one of those things in there where, like, here's the rest of the movie is on one half of the movie, and like for a good chunk of the latter part, like here's this other part across the galaxy that didn't have really nothing to do with the main story. Like, if it was written better, I felt maybe it would have felt like it was a part of it, but something tells me they made the movie and they was like, okay, we have Luke, we have Rey, we have Kylo, we have pilot guy and the rebels and everything, and that was the movie. And then they was like, but we have Finn though. We have to have Finn do something. He's the main character. So they was like, fuck, okay, well, him and this one girl goes off to this, it felt like they added that scene in after the fact. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know if it went down like that, but it feels like that when you're watching it. I would have rather seen Finn and the Asian chick be mixed in with the rebel stuff that pilot guy was doing. Granted, it was, but it was like they was kind of like off separate, and it didn't really matter at the end of the day, because when they went and did all that, I want to say like they ended up getting caught and like they didn't break in anyway. So, but it was just one of those things where it felt weird when you were watching it. I thought everything was well acted. It was just, I felt like they should have had Finn working with pilot guy and have him be the pilot guy's wingman, or do something on that end to keep the story with the rebels versus the Sith, but they just didn't do that. A lot of people are bashing this movie based on that they was like, oh, Luke isn't the same Luke Skywalker that he was from the books and the older movies, and certain people are bashing the movie hard because of the characters and how Disney decided to do the movies. And to me, I'm like, they can do the movies however they want, because they've already said that none of that expanded history that you've been reading about and all that, none of that exists in their storyline of movies, so they can do whatever they want. And having Luke be the old man who, be like, I don't want to train nobody because the last time I trained people, people got killed. I mean, I can understand that. I mean, it's, he isn't the same person that he was, years ago. People change as they get older. So him being angry at that and not training Rey, it's like, of course he wouldn't train Rey. Why would he? The last person he trained ended up being like the guy who took Vader's spot. So it's like, whoa, why would he train her? But, a lot of people are bashing the movie because of that. I think a lot of people are bashing the movie not because it was a bad movie. Certain elements could have been did better, but I think a lot of people are bashing it because what they want out of the movie was, the same thing I wanted out of a movie. You want a strong bad guy. You want Rey to master all of her force powers and lightsaber fighting and just go fight the bad guy, and I think a lot of people hate the movie because it didn't give that to them. I mean, this movie, to me, when I seen it, when I first thought of it, or not thought of it, but when I first thought on it, it feels like a setup movie. This movie is setting up your third movie. Kind of what a sequel was supposed to do if you're doing a trilogy. I mean, that's just the way it is. You have the first movie that establishes all of your characters. Second movie kind of sets up the ongoing plot or theme or MacGuffin of your trilogy or the threat. And then the third movie is like, oh, look, that MacGuffin or that threat's about to happen and we got to stop them. That's kind of what ongoing story does. I don't know what people are really, bitching about the movie for. I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to do. Like I said, I think a couple things could have been done better. And I guess a lot of people thought that Luke was gonna come back and take down Kylo Ren, but I never thought that, because they can't do that. Because otherwise, why have Rey? You know, she's your main character. So, you know, you can't have Luke come back and then kick her to the curb, and then have Luke be, you know, the main character. that's not gonna happen. You know, they're not gonna do what Don Cheadle did to Terrence Howard, you know, from Marvel and Iron Man. You know, they can't do that. So, you know, they gotta make it work. I mean, they have to. What they're doing is they're establishing their newer franchise. That's exactly what they're doing. And if anybody, you know, who watches movies, you can see that it's plain as day. They're not hiding the fact that they're not bringing back these older characters to say, here's newer movies with these older characters. No, they're trying to establish newer characters, Rey, Finn, Pilot Guy, as your new trilogy of new heroes in the new trilogy. They killed off Han Solo, Harrison Ford in the last one. Luke appeared to vanish into thin air and die in this one. They're killing off the main cast of people to make room for these newer people, and they're trying to do it and pay homage to the older franchise by bringing them in. They're not just gonna say, okay, well, fuck the older shit, we're making a new one, because they would know a lot of people wouldn't like that. So that's why they're getting the older actors to come back. And they're sprinkling some new stuff in there along that we never saw in the older movies, like Leia just suddenly gaining Force abilities. Again, that's something I would say I didn't outright hate it, like, oh, she shouldn't do that, fuck that. I'm like, no, like, everybody in her family's Force adept. Why shouldn't she not be? You know, it makes no sense. Like, everybody in her family's like this shit when it comes to the Force. So I'm assuming maybe if she's not as badass as them, but yeah, she's definitely Force adept. I mean, come on now. But I think it could have been done differently. Like, to me, that was kind of out of the blue. That was one of those things where it's like, oh, you're surviving in space with force fields and you're throwing yourself back to the ship. That felt kind of awkward, you know, because there was no lead up to her having that kind of level of ability. If it were me, like I said, this is one of those things where I think it should have been done better differently. Or it would have been done better differently. I think that they should have maybe not went that far with it, but if you want to establish Leia having some Force abilities, right? Just have her do something minor. Let's say, like, or at least start out doing something minor. Like, let's say have the ship get blown up the same way and project her out into space, right? But the difference is, let's say they knew 10 seconds before that missile was gonna hit, you know? So they all went into like let's say they was trying to get out of the main bridge room or whatever, and kind of like if, I'm trying to remember, like, let's say, like, take, From A New Hope. No, wait, not A New Hope. That's the older movie. What was the last one with Rey in it? I forget if it's not called A New Hope. Wait, was that one called Force Awakens? I don't know. I forget. But the last movie, the one with, not Rey. Rogue One. Take Rogue One. And I can go back to A New Hope, because I think wasn't that the first Star Wars movie? Yeah, that beginning scene with Vader. That's what I'm trying to get to. That beginning scene with Vader and that ending scene in Rogue One that also had Vader in it. When the people, or when the Republic soldiers were trapped in like the little decontamination chamber or the pressure room or whatever, where they have the two doors where Vader's trying to break in one and they're trying to get out the other one, do something like that. You can have Leia and the bridge crew run to that door, right? And let's say they're waiting for the other door to open and they're behind one that's closed. The missile could hit, the missile could fuck up the rear door. And while they're trying to get out the door, you know, in the front, the door in the back's like crumbling or breaking or something. But let's say the computer gets messed up to where it's not recognizing them trying to open the front door. Or let's say there's a latch or something falls in front of the door to stop it from opening. You could have Leia just like use some force telekinesis to kind of push it out the way to get the door open. You know, do something like that. You know, even if you showed her getting like heavily strained while she did it, you know, do something like that. Don't just have her be like, look, now she could just fly in space because of reasons. You know, like without any kind of lead up, that could make people get pissed. I can understand why people are mad about that. I mean, me personally, it wasn't that big deal to me. It was cool to see. but like you have to have some kind of build up in there. You can't just Spider-Man one more day that shit. That's not gonna work. You know. But outside of that, like I said, I thought the movie was pretty cool. They added in a bunch of new things. I mean, me personally, I wanted Luke to do a little bit more. I wanted to see him fuck Kylo Ren up. But, you know, I mean, it is what it is. I can't wait to see the third movie to see how they're going to end it. Because from the ending of this one, it looks like Kylo Ren and Rey are teaming up. So I don't know how that's going to play out. Is she going to go to the dark side? Or I think she's going to, be like every other woman. She's going to flirt with the dark side a bit, but she's going to go right back to the light side. I mean, that's the way it is. I think she may like him a little bit. I know when they were having their little dream date, she was getting all flustered of the fact that he didn't have no shirt on, which didn't make no sense because I'm like, you're not physically looking at him, but you know, it is what it is, YouTube. I don't think she's going to go to the dark side. I think she may just work with him for a little bit. And then he's going to be like, oh, you betrayed me. You should have joined me. And she's going to stay with the light side. And then in the third movie, maybe she's going to have to kill him. Or maybe at the end of the third movie, she's going to end up turning him. And that's going to be the end of your franchise. And then they would have to either bring in a new bad guy. I mean, because I'm assuming it's not going to stop. It's going to probably be like Marvel. They're just going to probably keep it going. But I'm hoping they bring in like a bad guy. Bring me in a bad guy from a video game. Because all of the bad guys in the video games were fucking awesome. For the most part. If you were a Jedi fighting a Sith bad guy at the end, they were the shit. They were either Vader or somebody else. Like a guy, like both of the guys from KOTORs were badass Sith people with Cybertronics and stuff on them. And things like that. And they were evil as shit. Like Kylo Ren don't seem like evil. He seems like he's misunderstood. He seems like the angsty teen person, and maybe that's why I don't like him. Because to me, it's like I've never had that angsty teen phase ever in my life. That just doesn't appeal to me. I've always been, I'm not gonna say single-minded, but level-headed. Like I've never had that angsty phase where I get mad at my parents or do none of that bullshit. So whenever I see that, it's just like I feel like he's the angsty teen with with force abilities, and he doesn't know like who. I'm not gonna say who to trust, but he doesn't know what to do. It's like, oh, should I be bad or should I be good? I don't know. It's like I'm tired of seeing it. Be bad. Destroy your mom already. Complete the circle. It's like what the fuck. But I don't know. I was hoping he would be a little bit more badass in this movie because I thought that's what the whole point of him killing Han Solo was. Like, I can understand him being in the first movie. I didn't like it then, but then it's like, okay, he killed his dad, so in the second movie, he's going to try to be Vader, he's going to live up to that standard, but he didn't do it, I mean, I'm hoping he gets there by the third movie, because if they don't do nothing with his character, it's like, come the fuck on. Like, I don't know why they keep showing him without the helmet. I get the point that they were trying to make in the movie, because I think even Snoke made a reference, regarding of him hiding behind this helmet. I get that, but like you can't be a badass and have like a pretty boy face. That just don't work. This is not an anime. You're not gonna take your helmet off and be swooning all the girls and still be the ultimate badass. That's not how that goes. But hopefully he gets there by the end of the next one. So anyways, YouTube, that's just been my thoughts on the new Star Wars movie. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below if you guys seen the movie. My name is Denanu, the man with the biggest and the most blackest privilege on YouTube. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.